Hi guys, another movie review today. So, what movie are we reviewing? Dinner. So, it's new to Netflix. However, the credit says that it has been around since 2016. So, I'ma be lenient with them and not judge them too hard by today's standard of movies that have been coming out into us from the cinemas. So it's a Franklin Jitubov film. I'm not particularly sure who he is, but I'm going to watch out for his next project because this was really good, guys. It was a good it was a good movie. Initially, it was slow for me, but it kind of like just went a sharp spike up. I'm like, okay, I need to pay attention now. So what's this movie about, you ask me? I shall tell you. Sex. RMD said sex. Oh, I wanted to enter the floor. Even his child looked up. I'm like, my daddy knows that word. But yeah, this movie is about a narcissist. Deyemi, the actor, please, I need you to stop acting such roles because you are doing it too good, too well. Stop it! But it's about this guy that is just sick in his head because he just feels that everything in skirt should be slept with, even his friend's fiance. And when he sees some other girl that somehow they are related, like they are connected in a way because her fiance or her soon to be fiance is friends with his best friend, he remembered that he had a one night stand with her. So what? Please, so what? And then he decides to chase her again at the dinner table. That's where the title comes from. It's like a one evening event that so many things happen, and you're thinking that there can never be a human being like this. His name was Richie. There can never be a human being like Richard in this world. They would have killed him because he was nasty, guys. He was nasty. Even RMD, who was his friend's father, said to him that your father was such a good man. I wonder how we ended up with a child like you. I'm like, oh, wale. But yeah, imagine having someone that is so sick in the head. And unfortunate thing for me is that there's no backstory of why the guy is this way. He took advantage of his best friend's fiance, slept with her. That one started hating him, but an error she made was that she did not speak up to tell her fiance. I mean, maybe forgiveness would have been a bit easier instead of the guy now being the one to spill the beans. But it was messy, guys. Initially, I was getting kind of like, this writer is like, he has watched too many American movies of all these friends sleeping with each other and then coming together. Why is this? However, I can kind of imagine it happening in real life when you have someone that is just very rubbish with his existence, right? And guess what happened at the end of the movie? Hey, Ashe, he's also sleeping with his friend's mommy. Ah! My body shook. I'm like, what? So, which would you pick, guys? Friendship or love? Because, I mean, Ade was right to kind of like call off his engagement because, I mean, his fiancée did not tell him what she had done. It was when they were fighting Sha. Is that an excuse? Maybe not. But he did call off his engagement to her. But I kind of see like maybe a part two, a story of reconciliation. I'm watching out for that. So, would I recommend? Yes, but you have to be patient. Don't expect magic from the beginning. It's a solid 6.5/10. Yes, I am stingy with my marks, but it didn't pick up so fast for me. And because it's an old production, my brain kind of wants a bit more in terms of the quality of production. But it was a really good watch. I would recommend it if you don't have much to do, if you're not in a rush to get to the good part of things. But 6.5/10, a solid one, not a pity one. And yeah, big ups. Looking forward to maybe a part two of a story of reconciliation. I'm just giving you all these writing tips for free, all the story tips for free. So feel free to use it, Franklin. But and yeah, big ups to Nollywood. Let me know if you have watched it, and like, share, subscribe my reviews. Yeah, just drop your opinion in the comments as well. Have a good day, guys. So today's movie review, Half Heaven. My Yoruba girl H Factor almost kicked in, but Messi said no. Rightly so, because did you know that this is actually a religious movie? But guys, it was good, if I do say so myself. Okay, where do I start from? From scene 1. The first scene caught my attention. If you see how a thug killed a guy, I need to describe it to you guys. He puts bottle in his mouth and slammed it into his throat with a baton. They didn't show the actual slamming, but you know, cinema has a way of making you imagine how it must have felt. I was like, Jesus, because I was laid out and I was just watching it on Prime, in some Prime Video, and I was just like, if this one can happen from scene 1, something's gonna go down in this movie. So it was a good movie, guys. It was a really solid movie in terms of storyline and in terms of just the message that it was passing across. I heard the message loud and clear. Like, it was very, very profound. Okay, so what's the storyline? Again, you ask, and I shall tell ya. A firebrand Christian burning for God, witnessing, evangelizing, drawing young men to God, you know, to righteousness, and orphaned. He doesn't even remember where his origin is, and he's on fire for God and bringing people into the kingdom of Christ. Unfortunately, somehow, pastors are still human, because his head pastor decided to be jealous of him, thinking that he was here to take over his, you know, throne. I use that word loosely, his throne as the leading pastor in their congregation. So he sends him to a community called Umboko. So now, this is the part where I tell you that it's actually not a Nigerian movie, which I did not know. And on the poster was Chidi Mokeme, a lady who I thought was Mercy Eke. Apparently she's not. All of the actors, the major actors in this movie, I honestly do not know them, which might have been a good thing, because there was no expectation from me, you know. And at a point I even forgot that Chidi was on the poster, and perhaps watch out for him until the latter part of the movie. But the movie was acted in Congo DR, yeah, because at some point they started speaking French, and I went to research that where are these regions that they are mentioned, because they were quite unfamiliar. Plate numbers were not the Nigerian plate numbers and bits like that. Anyway, going back to the story, so not a Nigerian movie, a Congo DR movie. But guys, the message was good, because people appoint themselves as Jesus's PA, or in his case, Jesus's senior brother's grandmother, because his own was too much. Sometimes the message of repentance is not something you add salt to people's wounds. It was a story that just showed that when you're reaching out to people as Christians, it might do you a whole world of good to understand their whys. Why have they chosen this path that is clearly leading to destruction? Why are they doing things that is not godly? Why are they doing things that a child of God should not necessarily do? Things like prostitution, smoking, drinking, stealing. They may just not know better, or it might just be their way of survival. But when you come with a message of condemnation, telling them that you are on the road to hell, you will burn in hell, you will do it, you've lost them in the first place, because their current life might just be their hell, and they don't even see anything that could be worse. So he learned. The senior pastor sent him to Umboko, which is a region where, man, it was just hell on itself on earth. And it was a region where he just felt that the guy would never succeed, because one of the last tasks for him as a training pastor is to win a soul to Christ. And then the task was to win a soul from Umboko. Nobody goes to that community and comes out. I feel like in the portrayal of the community is like how people say, well, Ajegule is a dangerous place, but Ajegule times 1 million, because every single person in that community was mad, clear-cut mad, you know. And he was like, I will still go, because I strongly believe this is the calling that God has placed upon my life. So he went. On entering into the town, he first of all stole everything. His money, everything on him was gone. Every single thing on him got stolen. And guess who came to his rescue? A prostitute. Guys, come on. I feel this movie is there's an element of reality to this movie, because if you're in a helpless situation, even the Bible says that, where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. The person that came to his help was made by God. However, the person's current occupation was the prostitution. But you see, people's stories not necessarily make up who the human being is, because above all else, she was such a good person. She accommodated him, she helped him, she protected him. She was his protection over the bullies and the other thugs in the community. But you know, that evangelism guy, that preacher, the guy Oburu, he was dating one girl and the girl said, "Oh, this is weather for two." The guy said, "I know, right?" Konji caught the girl. He said, "Okay, I'm coming." He went to go and bring umbrella for her and told her to be going to her house. That was a good one. But the message from this movie is, let your light shine. When you want to invite people to Christ, when you want to preach the gospel to the community, first understand the whys behind the person's behavior and prefer a solution. Drawing people to Christ, Christianity, and everything that encompasses it is not necessarily about condemning people. In fact, it is not about condemning people, but it's about bringing the message of love, drawing people to themselves. He learned how to witness, contrary to his harsh ways of condemnation, of telling people outrightly they were going to go to hell. He learned to love. It touched my heart so deeply, because we as Christians may have been doing things wrong in drawing people. The moral here for me is, in everything you do, let there be love. You don't need to tell people accept Christ before they accept Christ. If people see how kind you are, how giving you are, how loving you are, they would come to the rising of your light. They would be naturally drawn to you, because at the end of the day, there is no one that can resist the power of love, which is what God is. God is love. And this movie clearly portrays that message of how love and how God uses people, how love is the ultimate gift given by God to mankind, how that same gift can be used to draw all men, even the hardest of criminals. Can you imagine that he had the opportunity to lead the person that destroyed his existence, meaning the person that killed his father, to Christ? And that was the main patron of that community that was leading, the rugged lifestyle, the negative lifestyle. And when people heard that he was able to succeed to lead that man to Christ, they bowed immediately. They decided to follow Christ. So instead of leading one person to Christ, he led the whole community to Christ. This story was very beautifully written. The message is very clear. The cinematography was just amazing. I 100% recommend it, because you will learn a lot from this. You will learn so much from it. It's a good watch for the Christian community, although it had a bit of smoking and, sex in it. But please watch. We need to learn how to approach things a bit differently, just to make sure that the kingdom of God is properly propagated, and even those that are lost in the world will be curious that how is this person different? How can I make myself better? But not by driving people away to the other side. So, prostitutes are human beings. She helped a man of God that was supposed to know it all, and she taught him a lesson or two. And God also blessed her life, brought her out of darkness into his glorious light. Somebody shout hallelujah! I love the movie. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I recommend it. Please watch. A solid 8.5 out of 10, because I'm still stingy with my marks. But yeah, please let me know what you think about the movie. If you have watched it, showing on Prime Video. Hi. So we shall be reviewing the episode 2 of season 7, Skinny Girl in Transit. I told you guys that this season is for Shaliwa, and I love it. However, please, you see this issue of a promise ring, I don't like to hear about it. So Mohammed, don't upset me. If you want to marry her, marry her. This issue of promise ring thing should not even come to light at all. And I'm all here for the sisterly love and bond between Tiwa and Shaliwa. I wish Shaliwa is more open to Tiwa's advice, because I mean, she's in therapy. You don't do therapy alone. Not like I know, but I feel like it's something that if you had someone to share it with, someone that understands your personal journey as well, it's going to be easier for you. But I digress. And the interesting turn about this season for me is how Didi's story is now coming into the limelight as well. It's such an interesting one, because I'm like, okay, there might actually be a lot more to Didi than, you know, the whole I wanna knock everybody bad girl vibes going around, and I can't wait to see that unfold. And I hope the devil does not want to come and start tempting me there, because that new Delilah, hello sister, find your way out. We don't like you, we don't want to know you, we don't want to see you. Holy Ghost fire burn you, kill you there. Don't come and distract me there. Please. Every spirit of divorce, we cast and bind it. But I trust my nigga, he can't do that. No. He's not gonna do that. Yeah. So, enjoyed episode 2 thoroughly. Kudos to those who are waiting patiently to binge watch it. I do not have such self-control, so I will be watching weekly with my fellow addicts. And so episode 3, we're waiting for you. What else did I actually take note of in this episode 2? Gen Z. That's all I have to say about that. We will see, lads. But yeah, so far so good. Keep it coming, guys. Skinny Girl in Transit. Please do watch and let me know what you think. And we're gonna talk later. Bye. You see, this movie I'm about to speak about, it do me one kind. That's just what I'm going to say about it first of all. So the title of this one is Cake. Initially, it was given the Hallmark romance vibe kind of movie, you know, boy meets girl in a cake restaurant, or be in a cake cafe, and you know, he loves her but he couldn't tell her kind of thing. But there's another girl that is in love with him as well, and she also can't tell him, so who is he going to pick? That's the template for a Hallmark love story. But it became weird, really weird, extremely weird, because then he kept speaking to his dead mom's picture. I understand grief and how when we've lost somebody, we always still try to speak with them and try to hear them. But it became obvious at some point that this guy became the Lulu, because he started doing weird things like trying to break up the girl's engagement. And when he now decided that he was going to poison her fiance just to get her, I knew that this one was mad. What's it crazy? I can't say I particularly enjoyed the movie because it was a bit boring, in that it was boring. I'm sorry, but it dragged, and so it only became mildly interesting when his obsession became borderline dangerous, and I was quite interested in seeing what would come out of this, because then he decided to poison her fiance just to get with her. Well, for me, this movie is I do not particularly recommend it if you're in search of a blockbuster movie to watch. It dragged. The picture quality was really good, actually. You would know that some money was spent in its production, but it dragged. The storyline dragged. It could have been better. The acting was also very mundane for me. I believe that the actors could have done more if properly directed, because this is not the first time I'm seeing them in a movie. I just wish they had done a bit more with the script and also with the acting as well. In terms of quality of production, excellent. However, the storyline begs for a bit more attention and a bit more pizzazz, I would say. And do I recommend? No. And my rating for it, a 4/10, and the 4 is just for the picture quality. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. Please let me know what you think. No offense to the production team. Bye. You guys, one particular thing I love is when old Nollywood comes out to fight. FIGHT, fight. Let me drop my cup. That's what this movie was all about. Old Nollywood came out to fight, to show new Nollywood that we still got the game. Odunade, I'll give you hand. Orisha. That was a good movie. But you know, the thing about it is that I'm going to say it now. It's for the Yoruba speakers. You will not truly appreciate the movie if you're reading the subtitle. I would say that first and foremost. But in terms of the story, the quality of production, the spin to it, the final destination of the movie, or the predictability of the movie, in fact, it was more like, for me, I was like, what exactly is happening? Like, what's going to happen next? It's a story that I have an idea what is going to happen, but I'm not sure that's the, that's what is actually going to happen, because at every scene, at every turn, it kept making me second guess what I felt like I knew about movies, and what next is going to happen and all of that. It was beautifully written. I really, really appreciate the fact that this movie had so much mastery of the art of storytelling. It wasn't predictable. So what's the storyline, you ask me, and I'm gonna tell ya. Okay, so a king became Nebuchadnezzar. He became proud. He decided that he himself is a god. In fact, he is God, And the spirit of pride entered into him and ate into him, and he decided that I'm going to destroy you. After all, it's said that pride goes before the fall. And that's what exactly happened to him. So, I mean, in kingship, there are communities, there are different people that you have to be kind of answerable to, despite the fact that you're the king and you're the ruler of all of these people. And that's one thing with society. Every individual deserves respect and requires respect on a certain level. So when you feel like you're in a position of authority and you do not owe anybody any explanation, I feel like that's the first step to failure for you. And that's what happened to him. He decided to anger the community of witches and wizards in his kingdom. Those ones gifted upon him the spirit of madness, and boy did he display madness on a premium level. Please, don't be acting madman part again, because you are too good at it. It was so ridiculously funny. Again, disclaimer, I will say this movie is for Yoruba speakers, because most of what he said in Yoruba was way more hilarious than what the subtitle would translate it into. And his portrayal of the Mad King was so good that I'm like, hats off to him. And the reason behind his affliction was quite reasonable, because he started sleeping with other people's wives just because he's a king. There's this thing in Yoruba called besele. Besele, in the sense that if you're a king, you can take ownership or possession of anything, including other people's wives. But you see, there's also the moral compass of things to consider, because I don't think anybody will be very happy if you steal his wife. And if the laws of the universe are supposed to go by the laws of good and bad, you can't win. Even though you're the king, you cannot win this fight of I want it, so I'm going to have it. So he started offended offended the whole community, offended even his Balogun. Balogun is the chief warrior, and that did not go down with anybody. So he really had no empathy when he became mad. In fact, people were kind of mocking him. It turned out that the person that was even responsible for the affliction is his wife. She was also a witch, and he had offended her. So the protection or the covering over him was removed because she felt offended by his arrogance, by his pride, and by his misdemeanors. Thus, she allowed her coven to turn her husband crazy. But then again, love conquers all, innit? She started feeling empathy for him and decided that I want my husband back. I want him to be restored. So she went back to beg for him. But brethren, there's always the ultimate price for anything. Even in the place of forgiveness, I feel like you still need to pay some kind of restitution. So he was restored back to his glory. However, his dignity was stripped from him. He became blind and practically a vegetable, but he was given back his kingdom. Fair enough, in my opinion. So in terms of rating of this movie, for me, it's a solid 8.5/10 because it was not predictable. It was beautifully portrayed. I know I always say beautifully, but genuinely, this was storytelling mastery at its best. The actors, the old Nollywood, like I said in the beginning, came out to fight, and their acting was babanla bombastic. It ain't bad, man. Damn it. Is it Femi Adebayo we're talking about? Dunlade, or this Dele Odule, Jide Kosoko. These men came and showed that awala wa ni dikini ise awala ma ate. Awadela kwa waton bole yin. Wanna give it fully in Yoruba. But I appreciate the fact that there is an opportunity for old Nollywood, like I said, to come back into, this beautiful production scene that we're seeing playing out now in terms of picture quality, in terms of detailing, in terms of authenticity in the storytelling coming out now from Nigeria. And I truly appreciate this piece of art because that is what it is. I look forward to seeing more of the OGs coming out, to play with the younger ones, and how they're able to transition into this new era of production is just so beautiful to watch. I recommend to my Yoruba speaking people, y'all, but I would say sit down with a cup of tea and ease yourself into the movie. Give it a chance. It's very deep, very detailed. You will enjoy it. So I recommend, please watch and let me know what you think. Have a beautiful day, guys. Hi, welcome to another episode review for Skinny Girl in Transit, and this is review for episode 3. Now, what happened in episode 3? Shaliwa and Mohammed, guys. Their relationship is not given. You see, when you have a relationship that's cultural differences have started entering, and it's like the highlight of the concerns that you have, you really need to think and evaluate that. Okay, do I really want to go through this? Is it really worth it? Does his family accept me? These are the questions that Shaliwa needs to ask herself in all honesty. And as far as I'm concerned, none of the answers that she's going to be providing for herself, if she's being honest, is going to favor her. At this juncture, I feel she should just take a step back and reevaluate her relationship. And I mean, it's like so sad because in the previous episodes, in the previous seasons, Shalewa has been the life of the party, ever happy, bubbly, only one or two bumps in the road. But this season is just giving her bad boosts everywhere. And I just need her to have a break, guys. I just need her to have like a David or a Timberlake that would just be like, Shalewa, I got you, boo boo. Forget about Muhammad. I got you. Just do you, babe. Honestly, that's how I feel. But I'm going to pray for her. I'm praying for Shalewa. She's going to be okay. Tiwa is annoying me, by the way. When they say married women just become annoying, that's the kind of vibe she's giving. And if not that Didi understands her and they had a genuine kind of friendship before she got married, all of this wisdom that she's spewing and just, being wiser than Methuselah would have been pretty annoying. But let's give her a benefit of the doubt that she'll chill out a little and, just be kinder in her judgments or whatnot of Didi. Of life. Yeah, but she needs to chill. Chill will chill. And you people, what do you think? Do you think it's okay for Mide to have told Tiwa about the little Miss Delilah that's on his case? I mean, for the life of me, I can't imagine you using a double meaning word such as I can't wait to get in bed with you in an official environment. Devil. Devil. It's a lie. But yeah, I'm kind of, interested in seeing where this leads with Tiwa and Mide's relationship and what is going to happen. Is Tiwa going to come out gun blazing and, just angry at the whole thing? But to be honest and to be serious, I really commend Mide for bringing it up with his wife, which I think may not be typical of most guys. They may just be curious to see how it goes and whether or not something is going to almost happen with him and the new lady. I think her name is Grace, but I'm gonna call her Delilah because I don't care. She want to spoil our home, but we don't care. But yeah, so I'm waiting to see how that evolves, how that turns out, and yeah. So that was episode 3, pretty good. Again, I'm going to wait until the end of the season to give my final review of the whole of the season 7, but so far so good. I'm still enjoying it and I'm loving it. Keep it coming, guys. Until next time, let me know what you think. Drop a comment, subscribe. Bye. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode review of Skinny Girl in Transit, episode 4. So let me start from the one that shocked me the most, which is Daring. Girl, what's wrong with you? No, really, let's talk. What is wrong with you? So you see, Daring is acting like a 40-year-old maiden that needs to race against her biological time clock. This girl is barely 35 and she's already interviewing guys that she wants to have a baby. She has rich girl problems. Honestly, she's not challenged. If she had a boss that was always on her case about one work or another, she would not be looking for who to donate sperm to her and actually have a baby. But I like how it is because it did show her that there are a lot of crazy people in this world, because the guys that she interviewed as prospective sperm donors were quite until walk in Kunle Remy. I almost screamed when I saw him. Oh my god, he's in Skinny Girl in Transit, girl. You know what? I'm going to say here what I think about Kunle Remy. He's like, you know how we used to look at RMD as the Zaddy even when he wasn't the Zaddy? He gonna be the Hollywood heartthrob when he grow up, when he has the white beard and all of that. So I'm all here for it. So he's the sweetheart right now. Love you, Kunle Remy. So I like how this is going. So I'm going to watch out for Denry's story. But you know what happened? I almost crewed when episode 4 began because Shalewa's part in this season is just giving me heartache, guys. it's really making me just think like, love should not be this hard. But I can imagine how she feels. Not like it has happened to me before. However, having so many obstacles in your way when you're in love with somebody, when you've already planned your life and your future with that person. And I feel a lot of empathy for her. But enough. It have do. I just need one sweet Yoruba guy to just come and sweep her off her feet. Which is what happened at the end of episode 4, because that doctor, although maybe his personality will help him, but he looks like a regular guy, not too fine, not too ugly. He's a doctor, a complete professional. I'm here to see what happens on that end. So I'm happy episode 4 ended on that note of, Shaliwa having a perspective toaster, because that is how it should be. Shali is a baby girl and she deserves nothing less than the baby girl lifestyle and treatment. So yes. Tiwa, I love how she just walked into the boardroom with the baby and handed the baby to the CEO. Why? Because the wife is the neck and the husband is the head. However, the neck controls the head. It kind of showed Delilah, aka Grace, that girl, this my man. She pissed around him. She marked that territory and said, this my man. Okay, so perhaps I enjoyed that bit too much. However, it was good. But I feel like there's going to be some pushback from Grace. She doesn't look like a woman that goes down easily. So I'm here to see how that unfolds. And yeah, so I think it's really exciting the way all of the episodes are coming together nicely. It's really methodical, and it's really intentional in the way they're laying all the episodes on us. So I really can't wait until episode 5, which is gonna come out this week. So guys, we are here for it. We are here for it. And yeah, we'll see. I'm just gonna stop there. Girl, you see this Gen Z is going to get that young lady into trouble. But what's a little trouble? So please let me know what you think, guys. I really enjoyed the episode, and so far so good. It's been going amazing. Can't wait till the next episode. Kudos to you all. Cheers.